Donald Trump's January 6th speech last night to make it look like he incited a riot.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol and we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol and we fight like hell. That's not what he said. They took a line from the beginning of the speech and a line from the end of the speech to make it look like Trump violently unleashed the crowd into the Capitol. What he said was march peacefully and patriotically. They didn't include that. They doctored it. That was Pierre Thomas who fronted that package. Look at him, ABC News chief correspondent. That wasn't a mistake he made. He's been in the business a while. That might be one of the dirtiest edits I've ever seen in my career. ABC News should be ashamed of itself, and Primetime's demanding ABC address and account for it. And we have a request in. But why would they do that? They're supposed to be legit, right? Well, Limbaugh explained it perfectly years ago. Listen.
I know they desperately want Trump gone, and I know that they desperately want it codified, that Trump cannot run again, because make no mistake, they remain scared to death of you, and they remain scared to death of Trump. They believe that they can destroy this bond that exists between you and Trump if they somehow make Trump look bad, make Trump look like a reprobate.
This is about criminalizing a man who represents half the nation, toxifying him with a blizzard of charges, deceptive smears, and salacious allegations so that he's so publicly scandalized that no one's going to touch him. That's their plan. And Georgia's showing its cards. The Fulton County Sheriff says if Trump's indicted, there's going to be a mugshot.
Unless someone tells me differently, we are following our normal practices. And so it doesn't matter your status. We have mugshots ready for you.
The sheriff better be careful what he wishes for. That mugshot might make the most famous man in America more famous. And we'll get to that in a second. But before we do, here's how stacked this is. This judge in the January 6th case is an Obama appointee in D.C., the most Democrat city in America. This judge, Tanya Chutkan, worked at Hunter Biden's law firm. Her old law firm sponsored the Steele dossier. She's an Obama donor, nicknamed the Punisher for how harsh she's been with January 6th defendants. She's already ruled against Trump in the past. But this is where it gets interesting. Donald Trump's lawyers licking his chops. They're going to be relitigating the 2020 election in open court for months. And this is exactly what Donald Trump's been dying to do.
We now have the ability in this case to issue our own subpoenas, and we will relitigate every single issue in the 2020 election in the context of this litigation. It gives President Trump an opportunity that he has never had before, which is to have subpoena power since January 6th in a way that can be exercised in federal court.
This election came down to just about 40,000 votes between three states, Arizona, Wisconsin, and Georgia. Trump had to have flipped half of that 40,000, and he wins the Electoral College. That's about as razor thin as you can get, which makes you understand why Trump was fighting so hard for every vote. And that fight's going to continue in court next year when Philly, Detroit, Milwaukee, Clark County, Nevada, and Maricopa County, Arizona, and the entire state of Georgia are going to have to prove on the stand that they ran clean elections. But that's only the appetizer. If Trump wins after he pardons himself, welcome to the revenge tour. Oh, he'll be out for blood. You think he's going to let bygones be bygones? He's going to put his men at justice, and the Clintons, Obamas, the Pelosi's, the Schiffs, and yeah, of course, the Bidens. Everyone will be legally assaulted. Their family members, their foundations, their businesses. Everything's fair game after this. Trump won't care about re-election because he's only serving one term. Biden's creating a one-man wrecking crew with a list a mile long. A lot of people are going to get fired in Washington, and the rules are going to change. Scream and holler all you want, but if you're going to try to make a 78-year-old former president die in prison away from his friends and family, hit him with 78 charges after spying on him and impeaching